crapper, Mr. Leonard White, real Godfather, so please subscribe. As me watch a video, me have to do it every time. Share with my friends, comment, like. Rapper crapper, the struggle is alive. Color the intellect so the damn thing connect, right?
What's my beautiful people? Guys, I would like you to watch some of these clips to see what's going on in Jamaica. And this is just a few out of many clips that has been circulating on social media. You understand? And also here another updated conference from the Prime Minister as well too. Or people of MPs, basically. Check it out, my peeps. The struggle is real once again, peeps. Be careful.
I think I know. I think I know. I did know. I did know. Yes.
Nonsense, I want to people. And the wire.
Worry. Watch that. Oh, glad.
I never been in a house when a hurricane in a Port Royal for me know myself. And Gilbert till this day. Outside.
Outside?
Outside.
I never left Port Royal?
Never!
You know, when it comes to strong wind and the sea and a joke thing, man, people, stay away from the sea, stay away from rivers, stay away from canal and stay away from pond.
Every time the water came on the land, bush, the water come right here, 5 minutes time, you look on land. Port Royal is a Civ General. Port Royal is a Civ General. I never been in a house when a hurricane in a Port Royal for me know myself. And Gilbert till this day. Outside.
Outside?
Outside.
I never left Port Royal?
Never! I never have an intention to leave because I don't make, when we go leave, go out in a danger and leave out a frying pan and go on the fire. I don't see no sense in that, General. You know how to ride the wave, General. You see what me live right now? Not even that speck of breeze I go come in at that. I don't ask you.
Is there any area in Port Royal that is of concern?
Not if I know of. All these hurricanes everywhere safe in Port Royal.
That's a bad advice.
I've been through it. I've been through the whole of them. All of them safe. Are the safest going to have, General?
Now move.
I ain't moving, General.
And how long have you been in Port Royal?
I came here from 82. That's how long I'm in Port Royal. I never moved from a hurricane or a storm. I intend to move.
So you have kids that live here?
No. Yeah, man, Port Royal is the safest place and the best place to stay right now in the Jamaica.
Yeah, no matter
I tell you that.
No matter
and
that,
nobody will know it better than you.
No one.
Because no matter.
Why do you think the people are not moving?
Yeah.
Because they've been through the course several times.
No man, come, several of us come and never go back home.
When hurricane a blow, we in the kitchen, right out there, I cook. Me a cook, because me one of the chef them. Yeah, I cook a wheat dumpling and chunks and callaloo and all of that.
Yeah. What's that already?
No, I'm bound to cook. I'm bound to go cook here now. Yes, so I come on the road to go look some food and things. Make sure I drop the boat them out of the sea and get the boat them on the land. Secure the boat them. Because you know, the fisherman have to go venture when this are done. Because bills have to pay. People have to go to school. Who will work. Life have to start again. You have to go on again, on again. Best place in the General. Remember me tell you that. Port Royal, Kingston 1.
No, man, so him talk to different things.
This piece of rock over there upon here.
The journey
Moving.
from
Honestly, me don't feel like say, boy, this is a good advice to take. You understand? Because remember, a warning was issued that if you're living in Port Royal, it's best to leave Port Royal if you have somewhere else to go and seek shelter. Remember, Port Royal a dump up seabed. You understand? And if you see this side, say, boy, it'll come back on land. As a year, my mother say, if the water come in chest, within certain time, water evaporate. Portmore still. So that still for sure, say, boy, Portmore will get flooded out. So here are going people. My advice to you, puss and dog don't have the same luck. So if you, and him not no picnic then either. So if you there with your kids and you are somewhere where you can go, where you feel much more safer, please go there. You understand? The advice that the way we matter, me not bite, me not believe, no. Portmore is the most safest place. Dump up seabed. Dump sea, or them dump up. That's the reason why them put out the awareness. So people feel leave because they know how Portmore stay, how Port Royal stay and what is Port Royal. I see what them dump up. Furthermore, going to Port Royal, you know so much river. Yeah, you have to drive past so much crocodile and a buck or something. One time the river itself start come over, the sea come over, or even if it's not the river, if it's the sea. You understand? One time everything start cover. You guarantee for sure that the road them are going to block after a time. Because the water come back, come take its course. Because you have water on both sides. And now my beautiful people, let me know what you guys think. Me just say, boy, people, just follow your instinct and try to be safe. The struggle is real.
Than to the eastern. You know, there's a common feeling that if it reaches there, that means the eastern part is free of all folly and will not experience anything that is related to this hurricane. But I would like to tell you that that is not really the case. And although the center has moved past your longitude, which is how far west it is, you will still see that the situation will deteriorate further right across the country, and all parishes are likely to be impacted. This is a Category 5 hurricane. There are no additional categories for hurricanes. We go from 1 to 5. Any stronger than that is still a Category 5. And so it is at the strongest category that it could possibly be. This system, yes, it could gain additional strength, but it will still remain a Category 5 hurricane. Now, it is just about at the point where the projected path of it will indicate that it will move closer to the island. Over the past many hours, it has been moving directly west, which means that the latitude has remained the same. It has not moved any further north or dropped to the south. It has stayed at the same latitude, continuing westward over the waters south of Jamaica. So we will show you the chart of how it's moving in a little while. But let me show you what our radar image is projecting as well. The radar, the Doppler radar in Jamaica is showing that there are numerous showers associated with the system. The center, as I said, some distance to the south, but around that center, immediately around it, is a very tightly knit area of showers, thunderstorms, intense activity, also very, very, very strong winds. That is where the maximum winds of the hurricane are actually concentrated, in the eye wall, which is right around that eye. And it's a very distinct eye. It's a number of a couple of miles probably wide. And so it will actually show when it moves, if it moves over the island itself, a number of areas will experience the calm of the eye. But of course, that cannot be possible until you have gone through the eye wall. And again, after the eye passes by, you have another aspect of the eye wall to go through as well. But this system shows, this picture shows that the system is generating lots of showers right around it. There are bands of rainfall that extend some distance from that eye. And here we see many of those bands also extending across sections of Jamaica. Many of our parishes have already started to experience some of the activity from this hurricane. A number of parishes have experienced rainfall, mainly light to moderate, but in occasions it has been heavy rainfall. Also experiencing tropical storm force winds, mostly gusts, but in some areas those sustained tropical storm force winds will continue over some areas and will increase over the number of areas of the country as the system moves a little bit closer. Now it is at the point where we are expecting that it will start to turn toward the north. This means that it will get closer and closer to Jamaica. That is the projected path. I have to keep saying that because it's often said that I said one thing and this is something else. But the truth is, this is a dynamic situation. It changes as the moments go by. And so the track changes are also possible. Earlier I was telling you that it would make landfall in Clarendon. Later I was saying it would have been in St. Elizabeth. It's not that anything was wrong with what was being said, but there are updates to the forecast based on information that is gathered and as the system moves closer. As you are closer to impact, the forecast gets more accurate. So when I tell you that we are being hit by a hurricane, you know that it is accurate. We are being hit by a hurricane. At this time, I can only say that it is likely that we will be hit by this hurricane. It is moving closer to us. There is just a small window of opportunity where it could continue to shift. The track could continue to be shifted toward the west, and then it could be moving over the waters to the west of Jamaica. Of course, all of us are hoping for that and praying for that. But at the same time, we have to be practical. Right now, the projected path takes it to the southwestern part of Jamaica, impacting either eastern Westmoreland or extreme western St. Elizabeth as it makes its entry, its landfall on Jamaica. Then it's expected to continue moving to the northeast. All at this time, it is expected to be a major hurricane. Right now, a Category 5, it's quite likely that it will drop in terms of the strength of the system slightly to a Category 4 before it makes the landfall. But still, let us prepare ourselves for a Category 5 hurricane, if you can actually prepare for a Category 5 hurricane. And then it will move over that southwestern part of the island, moving toward the northeast. We expect that the exit will be just about in the vicinity of St. Anne, along the coast of St. Anne, which means it is not going directly north, but somewhat east of north. So making its entry near the border of Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth, at this time that's a projection, and then moving across sections of Trelawney and St. James, in the interior of the island, through the cockpit country probably, and then moving across along to the coast of St. Anne. So that's the projected path. During this time, it's likely that it will weaken a little bit more. It may exit the island, possibly as a Category 3. It might still be a weak Category 4 at that time, and then it will continue on its way closer to the eastern part of Cuba. So that is the forecast. It is expected that that entry, that landfall, will take place early on Tuesday. That means within 24 hours, tomorrow morning. It could actually be during the early hours before the sun. Is there a sun? We haven't seen it for a few days. but when at sunrise, we still have that time that we call sunrise, whether it rises or not. And so at that time, we should be seeing that there is a landfall of the center of this hurricane. A landfall means, yes, that the center is moving across the coastline, but it also means that the areas around that coastline are going to be most impacted. Around that eye will be most impacted. So parts of eastern Westmoreland, parts of western St. Elizabeth, and then surrounding areas of those moving as it continues to move, the closest areas to that center will get the greatest impact. We'll get the strongest winds reaching hurricane force. So hurricane force winds are expected over parts of Westmoreland as well as St. Elizabeth. The extent of hurricane force winds is just about 80 kilometers, I believe, because it's about 40 on either side of the center. So that's the extent of hurricane force winds. depending on where that center is, we will you can measure whether your area is likely to experience it. But of course, there is some shift in exactly where that landfall will take place. Then the tropical storm force winds extend a much greater distance and should cover the entire island, or most of the island. To the east will be impacted by tropical storm force winds, even though the center is not moving across your area. So if you think that you live in Kingston and you will not experience the eye, and so you are free from fear or worry or concern, I don't want to encourage fear or worry, but I do expect you to be concerned about what is taking place. If you think that you are free from that, think again, because the heavy rains will also affect you. The strong winds reaching tropical storm force could still continue to affect you as we go through the day on Tuesday. That's all the way through tomorrow. The exit of this system is likely to take place in the evening hours on Tuesday as well, so it's not expected to remain over the island until Wednesday, because there will be a slight increase in the wind speed, in the direction of, in the speed of movement of the system. Right now it's still moving at only about 6 or 7 kilometers per hour, but it should pick up a little bit as it is moving across us, and so we expect only about 6 to 8 hours as it moves from the south coast to the north coast. The rainfall is what is being shown. The projected rainfall is what is being shown on this chart that you're seeing here. This is showing that you could have anywhere up to 30 inches of rainfall over much of the country. And that includes all central parishes, it includes eastern parishes, and to some extent, some sections of western parishes could see that. If you're in hilly terrain, you should also look out for even more rainfall, because in hilly terrain, the rainfall amounts are expected to be higher. Of course, we expect that you will have a lot of flooding from this. And you can see on the picture that all of the island will experience even up to 20 inches of rainfall over sections of your area. So if you are in a flood-prone area anywhere across the country, you can expect that flooding is going to occur as long as the system moves in the direction that is projected. Landslides are also a very real possibility and likelihood, because as the soil is saturated and as the soil is loose, we are expecting that we will have landslides as well. Moving on, this picture shows a little bit about the storm surge that is expected. And there are some areas that are being highlighted where we see in the Black River area, that is where the highest likelihood of storm surge is at this point, based on the current projection of the track. The center should be just west of there, and therefore they would have the greatest likelihood of experiencing higher storm surges, getting up to like 16 feet. That's a possibility, or 14 feet, I should say, in that area. As you move along the coast, of course, there are some areas that might not be impacted significantly by storm surge, especially if you don't have a gradual slope onto the land, but you might have a cliff face. But if you're moving into the Portland Cottage area, Salt River area, because you're in that little inlet, you also have a strong likelihood of experiencing some storm surge. It would not be as high as experienced over in the west, but you should also look out for some surge occurring in those areas of Clarendon and going into the Old Harbor Bay area. That's a possibility. Also in the vicinity of, as we move closer to Kingston, as St. Catherine as you move from across the border from St. Catherine into Kingston, St. Andrew, along the coast, could also experience some amount of storm surge. And that is basically it in terms of the technical aspects of this presentation. I just want to end.
What's up, my beautiful people? I got some great news for you. Your favorite vegan restaurant is open once again. And this time, they are open at a new location. All necessary information.
This is Motabarota from I've been coming to England. The place I tell you about is the best vegan restaurant I've ever been
Certified.
to. The food nice, the presentation nice, the staff nice. We love it. The place is called All Nations Vegan House. Trust me, man, you're not going to regret it. And me say that.
You know, a lot of people is confused about entrance point. So from now on, we're only using the entrance point at Farley Place. So it's Unit 2A, Farley Place, postcode N16 7SU.
One of the places I like eating the most is the All Nation Vegan House. Could be steamed, could be boiled, could be baked, could be roast. All Nation Vegan House. Vegan, Caribbean and healthy too. What? Let's look at the menu. Chow chow with callaloo, chickpea curry, black bean stew, ackee, coconut red rice. Just me say the food is nice. Soursop with sea moss punch. Me did have that after my lunch. So much food for you to savor. Vegan with the Jamaican flavor.
So now, my beautiful people, you have all the necessary information you need to go to All Nation Vegan House to enjoy that wonderful vegan meal. And remember, you don't have to be a vegan to go and enjoy the meal. And remember, you can also find them on Facebook and also Instagram. You can get any update you need on their Instagram page. So go over there and also follow the Instagram page. This is it. All Nation Vegan House. My beautiful people, the food nice and delicious.
All Nation Vegan House.
All Nation Vegan House, the best food in London. You better get it.
All right, the doctor say so. Come on. Let's say it.